Shakespeare now has version control thanks to Git integration. What's Git? Think of Git as like a project manager for your code. It keeps track of all of the different aspects of your code, what you're editing, when you're editing it, who edited it, and allows you to roll back features if you need to. Because let's be honest, sometimes we've all implemented a feature and it didn't turn out exactly how we wanted, so we wanted the undo button, and now we have it thanks to rollback. You can roll back your project if you need to, but you can also save all of your changes as you're going forward, and then you can push those changes out to what's known as a repository. Think of it as a place where your code is stored. You can have it be stored on GitLab. You can have it be stored on GitHub. Maybe you run your own personal GitLab or Gitty instance, or maybe you want to use Nostr and NGit. You can do all that with the new version of Shakespeare. Shakespeare has built-in version control and a nice, pretty graphical user interface, but also if you're a command line ninja, you can access the terminal and access all of these commands from the terminal. But first, we need to connect our GitHub account or our GitLab account to start taking advantage of some of these features. So let's figure out how we do that. To get started with Git in Shakespeare, you want to click on the settings icon and visit the Git settings section where we will configure our Git credentials. You have the option to connect to GitHub automatically, or you can visit GitLab and get a token and manually configure GitLab. If you have a different provider, maybe you're using a local GitLab instance, or maybe you're using a Gitty instance, you can configure those custom providers here. So let's click on Connect to GitHub. Okay, I now have my GitHub credentials configured in my Git settings, so let's go back to a project and see how I can utilize them. If I go back to my project that I was working on earlier, I can go into my repository settings and I see that I have 2 uncommitted changes. I modified the package JSON and I made changes to the index page. Well, I need to commit them before I can sync them to GitHub. I have 2 options on how to do this. I can do this through the GUI. I could tell the AI to make the commit for me. I could just say, git commit the changes, or I could go in here and do it from the terminal. I'm going to do it from the terminal just to say that I did. So I'm going to go and type git status, and it says I have 2 files that are not staged yet for commit. So I'm going to say git add just to make sure that those are added, git status. They are now added, and now I will do git commit -m to add a commit message, and I'll say fix change header, and I will commit those. Those are now committed. If I do git status, I can see in here there's nothing to commit. They've already been committed. If I go into repository, I can see I am now 1 commit ahead of the remote repository, and I could push if I wanted to. If I hit push, these will now be pushed to the origin master branch on my remote repository on GitHub. Now, after I made these changes, if I decide I don't like those changes, I can go in here and roll back, and I can roll back these changes to this known good working version here if I wanted to, if I didn't like the changes that I made to fix the header. Alternatively, I can roll back to any point in time that I have made any of these changes, because we're now using Git in Shakespeare Act 2. Okay, let's talk about using NostrGit or NGit. NostrGit allows your code to be decentralized and published and pushed across Nostr relays. To do so, you click on the Action Overflow button and select the repository. You'll notice at the top there is no Git URL entered at the time, but you do have the option to publish to Nostr. It says there is no remote configured. That's perfect. We're going to use Nostr and we're going to use decentralization. Publish our code to Nostr by pushing this button, and our code is then pushed out to Nostr relays. You'll see then at the top, our URL is automatically populated into the Git URL feed. This is now our NGit, our NostrGit URL. We have the option then to push or pull files and use the full power of Nostr.